General Hospital spoilers reveal Kelly Monaco has just unleashed a shocking revelation that has sent General Hospital fans into a frenzy. She has exposed a long-held secret about Steve Burton, shedding new light on the truth behind their fractured relationship. For years, speculation ran wild about the underlying tension between Kelly and Steve, with many wondering what had really caused their once close friendship to disintegrate. Now, the answer is finally coming to the surface, and it all points to one person: Steve's ex-wife, Sherry Gustin. Kelly's revelation paints a disturbing picture of just how much Sherry's influence played a role in destroying her bond with Steve. What was once a solid friendship built on years of working together and mutual respect was gradually dismantled by Sherry's jealousy and possessiveness. According to Kelly, Sherry didn't just dislike their closeness, she actively worked to ensure that Steve cut all ties with her, going to extreme lengths to keep them apart. At first, the changes were subtle. Kelly noticed Steve becoming more distant, conversations that had once flowed effortlessly becoming strained. Their once easy banter off-camera faded, and soon, it was as if an invisible wall had been placed between them. Kelly tried to brush it off, thinking that maybe Steve was just dealing with personal issues. But as time went on, it became undeniable: Sherry was behind it. She had an obsessive need to control Steve's interactions, and Kelly, despite being nothing more than a trusted friend and co-star, had somehow become a threat in Sherry's eyes. The situation escalated when Kelly discovered that Sherry had even taken it upon herself to involve Steve in discussions about her personal life, without her consent. During her time on the reality show Dirty Soap, Kelly had opened up about her struggles, including her health concerns and her rumored eating disorder. What she never expected was that Steve and Sherry would have private conversations about it, analyzing her situation as if it were their business. When Kelly learned of this, she was devastated. To her, it was the ultimate betrayal. Steve had allowed his wife to interfere in something deeply personal, overstepping boundaries that should never have been crossed. It was in that moment that Kelly knew their friendship was over. She could no longer trust Steve, not when he had stood by and allowed Sherry to meddle in her life. While they continued to work together professionally, their off-screen interactions became non-existent. The damage had been done, and their once genuine connection had been replaced by cold indifference. Fans who had once loved their on-screen chemistry as Sam and Jason started to notice the lack of warmth between them in real life, but few knew the true extent of the rift. Even after Steve and Sherry's highly publicized divorce, following Sherry's pregnancy with another man's child, the wounds between Steve and Kelly remained unhealed. While some assumed that their friendship might rekindle once Sherry was out of the picture, that was far from the case. The years of manipulation, jealousy, and control had left permanent scars, and Kelly had no desire to rebuild something that had been so easily discarded. Now, with Kelly finally speaking out about what really happened, fans are left to process the revelation that the tension between her and Steve wasn't just professional differences or simple drifting apart, it was the result of calculated interference. Sherry's obsession with keeping Steve away from Kelly was more intense than anyone had realized, and the emotional toll it took on their friendship was irreparable. This revelation isn't just about Kelly and Steve, it's a story about control, insecurity, and the toxic effects of possessiveness. It's about how one person's influence can permanently alter relationships, leaving behind wounds that time cannot heal. As fans react to Kelly's confession, the biggest question remains: will Steve ever acknowledge the truth? Or will he continue to act as if nothing ever happened, refusing to address the damage left in the wake of Sherry's obsession? One thing is certain: the past is no longer buried, and the truth is finally out in the open. The fractured friendship between Kelly Monaco and Steve Burton is no longer a mystery, it is a cautionary tale of what happens when jealousy and control take precedence over genuine human connection. Sherry Gustin and Steve Burton are now locked in a legal battle, a development that has sent shockwaves through their personal lives and the public eye. What was once a highly publicized divorce has now escalated into a full-blown courtroom showdown, proving that the turmoil between them is far from over. The lawsuit, shrouded in secrecy, has left many wondering what exactly is at stake, whether it's financial disputes, custody battles, or something far more scandalous. But one thing is clear: this isn't just about Steve and Sherry anymore. As the tension between them escalates, an eerie new possibility emerges. Kelly Monaco may now find herself caught in the crossfire. For years, Kelly and Steve's strained relationship has been the subject of speculation, with many believing that Sherry was the driving force behind their falling out. Now, with Sherry and Steve at war, the lingering resentment from the past could resurface in an entirely new way. There's a growing fear that Kelly, despite having distanced herself from Steve's personal drama, could become a target. Sherry has long been rumored to have harbored jealousy toward Kelly, and with emotions running high, she may use this lawsuit as an opportunity to reignite old tensions. Could Kelly's name be dragged into the legal battle? Could she be accused of having played a role in their marital discord? While there's no clear evidence that Kelly has any involvement in their ongoing feud, her past connection to Steve makes her vulnerable to becoming a scapegoat. Furthermore, this lawsuit could have lasting repercussions on Steve's career and reputation. As he continues to rebuild his standing in the industry following his exit and return to General Hospital, any negative publicity from this case could put him in a precarious position. If damaging details about his personal life emerge, it could tarnish his carefully maintained public image. Kelly, already dealing with the fallout of her own departure from General Hospital, now faces the risk of being pulled back into a situation she tried so hard to escape. If Sherry decides to go after her, whether legally or through public accusations, it could create a media frenzy unlike anything she has faced before. The question now is, will Kelly remain a bystander, or is she about to be unwillingly dragged into the next phase of this explosive legal war? And as Steve fights to protect himself, will he finally break his silence on what really happened between him, Kelly, and Sherry? As this lawsuit continues to unfold, one thing is certain: secrets from the past have a way of resurfacing, and in a battle fueled by resentment, no one is safe from becoming collateral damage. The next move could change everything, and for Kelly Monaco, the storm may be closer than she ever expected. Steve Burton is pushing for one of the most shocking storylines General Hospital has seen in years, bringing Sam McCall back from the dead after she was poisoned by Cyrus. The idea of resurrecting Sam has fans buzzing with anticipation, but the reality of the situation is far more complicated. The biggest roadblock? Kelly Monaco has made it clear that she has no plans to return to the show. For years, Kelly Monaco's portrayal of Sam McCall was at the heart of GH. Her chemistry with Steve Burton's Jason Morgan created one of the most iconic love stories in soap opera history. But now, with Monaco's firm stance on staying away from the series, the producers and writers are left in a difficult position. Steve Burton believes that Jason's arc is incomplete without Sam, and he's reportedly been lobbying behind the scenes for a way to bring her back into the fold. That's where the controversy begins, because now, Michelle Lundstrom, Steve's fiancée, has reportedly expressed interest in stepping into the role of Sam. This unexpected development has sent shockwaves through both the cast and the GH fanbase, creating a storm of speculation and backlash. Michelle, who has no prior history with General Hospital, is suddenly being positioned as a potential recast for one of the show's most beloved characters. While it's not uncommon for soap operas to recast major roles, the idea of Steve Burton's fiancée taking over for Kelly Monaco has raised major concerns. Longtime viewers worry that this decision is more about personal connections than making the right casting choice. Is Michelle really the best fit for Sam, or is Steve Burton using his influence to get her a role on the show? Behind the scenes, tensions are reportedly growing. The GH writing team is now faced with a tough decision. Do they move forward with reviving Sam, even if it means replacing Kelly Monaco with someone new? Or do they abandon the storyline altogether to avoid upsetting fans? Meanwhile, the backlash from GH's loyal viewers has already begun. Many fans have voiced their frustration at the idea of Michelle stepping into Sam's shoes, arguing that the character is too iconic to be recast so easily, especially with someone who has no established history in the soap opera world. Social media has been flooded with reactions, with some calling for Kelly Monaco to reconsider her departure, while others insist that if Sam can't be played by Monaco, it would be better to leave her character dead. But the controversy doesn't end there. If Michelle is cast as Sam, it could change the entire dynamic of the show. Would fans be willing to accept a new version of Sam just to keep the Jason and Sam romance alive? Would other actors feel comfortable with this level of behind-the-scenes influence? Could this be the beginning of Michelle Lundstrom cementing a permanent role in General Hospital? On the other hand, there are those who believe a recast could breathe new life into Sam's character. Some argue that a fresh face could take Sam in a different direction, allowing GH to tell new stories without being bound by past performances. However, most acknowledge that if GH does go through with a recast, they must tread carefully. Forcing the wrong actress into the role could lead to disastrous results. At the heart of all this chaos is one simple truth: General Hospital is at a major crossroads. The decision to bring back Sam, and more importantly, who plays her, could have lasting effects on the show's future. If the producers move forward with Michelle Lundstrom as Sam, they risk alienating a large portion of their audience. But if they abandon the storyline altogether, it could leave Jason's arc feeling incomplete, especially after his dramatic return. Meanwhile, Kelly Monaco remains silent. Her refusal to return raises even more questions. Why is she so adamant about staying away from the show? Is it a creative decision, or is there more to the story behind the scenes? Could she ever be convinced to change her mind if enough fans demanded it? As General Hospital grapples with this major casting dilemma, one thing is clear: this is more than just a simple recast. It's a battle between creative integrity, personal influence, and fan loyalty. Whatever happens next will set the stage for the future of Jason, Sam, and the show itself. Will Steve Burton get his wish and bring Sam back to life? Will Michelle Lundstrom step into the role, despite the backlash? Or will GH ultimately decide that some legacies are too sacred to touch? The answer may come sooner than expected, but no matter what happens, the drama behind the scenes is proving to be just as intense as the storylines playing out on screen. Steve Burton is reportedly feeling frustrated and bored with the current General Hospital storyline, and this dissatisfaction is creating major waves behind the scenes. His return as Jason Morgan was expected to shake things up in Port Charles, but instead, the character's direction has left him uninspired. Now, rumors are swirling that GH is making adjustments to accommodate his growing discontent, leading to speculation that his time on the show may be coming to an end once again. Sources close to production reveal that Steve had high expectations for Jason's return. After a dramatic exit due to behind-the-scenes controversies, fans were eager to see Jason come back stronger than ever. However, instead of a compelling, action-packed arc, Jason has been sidelined in ways that feel uncharacteristic. His return was meant to bring depth and excitement to GH, but instead, he has been caught in uninspired plotlines that fail to capitalize on his character's legacy. Now, with Burton reportedly voicing his dissatisfaction, the GH team is scrambling to adjust. Some insiders suggest that the writers had originally planned for a long-term arc involving Jason's redemption, family ties, and ongoing battles in Port Charles. But Steve's lack of enthusiasm could be forcing them to reconsider those plans. With tension growing, one possibility is now being heavily discussed: Jason Morgan could be killed off permanently. This shocking twist would serve multiple purposes. It would free GH from the burden of reshaping Jason's storyline, allow Steve Burton to make a clean exit, and provide a dramatic, high-stakes moment that could shift the show's trajectory. If Jason's death is truly being planned, it would be one of the most significant exits in GH history. Jason has been a pillar of the show for decades, and his presence, whether as Sonny's enforcer, Sam's love interest, or Carly's confidant, has been integral to Port Charles. But if Steve Burton is no longer invested in the character, then the writers may have no choice but to take drastic measures. The idea of Jason's death is already sparking massive debate. Some fans argue that Jason deserves a grand exit if Steve chooses to leave, rather than fading into the background. Others believe GH should leave the door open for future returns, avoiding yet another fake-out death that would diminish the impact of his departure. At the same time, the thought of GH permanently eliminating Jason has created tension among cast members. Kelly Monaco's refusal to return has already left a hole in Jason's storyline, and with Steve potentially walking away, characters like Carly, Sonny, and Sam would be forced into unexpected new directions. Another major factor in all of this is Michelle Lundstrom, Steve Burton's fiancée. Insiders suggest that Michelle has been pushing for a greater presence in GH, with speculation that she could take over a key female role, possibly even as a recast for Sam McCall. If Steve exits, would Michelle still have a future on the show, or was her potential role tied entirely to his presence? For now, GH remains tight-lipped about Jason's fate, but the signs are pointing toward a game-changing decision. If Steve Burton truly is dissatisfied with the show's direction, his departure could be inevitable. And if the writers decide to kill off Jason permanently, it will mark the end of an era for General Hospital. Whatever happens next, one thing is certain. Port Charles may never be the same again.